It's All-Star Week this week on the SportsLogos.Net podcast. We got new All-Star Game logos for 2027 for both Major League Baseball and the NHL. We're looking at the new MLS All-Star jerseys for this year. Plus, the Vegas Golden Knights are celebrating 10 years already with only 3 finals appearances. Shameful. The Women's Professional Baseball League has launched their logos and uniforms. Paul's got his minor league minute. We're going to talk about where we were last week at the All-Star Game. It is episode 21 of the SportsLogos.Net podcast.
Chris, that was some real let's get ready to rumble energy there. I like that a lot.
We saw Michael Buffer at the Home Run Derby, so
you are still vibing from all of that booing at the Home Run Derby in Philadelphia.
Are you from Philadelphia, Paul?
Guess what, Chris? I am from Philadelphia.
So I can't boo you.
No, you can't. Not in my own home ballpark, that's for sure. Listen, we're going to talk about this in a minute, but the booing, let me just say this right up front. It was all in good fun. People were booing and laughing. It was such a good time. The hand wringers on the internet who are like, Philadelphia's terrible. Like, get over it. It was funny. It was fun. The players liked it. The fans liked it. And it was a great vibe. But that's for later in the show, Chris.
Absolutely. That's for later. We'll talk about I'm not from Philly, and I was sitting there and I was laughing at all the boos, and I was getting right into it. The players were laughing too.
Yes.
Everyone knows the deal in Philly. No one was actually angry at these players. It's just the way Philly works, and it's what made the atmosphere so electric at the Home Run Derby. Not to mention the finals between Schwarber and Walker, and how that
oh my goodness
played out. What a comeback!
What a comeback! And Jordan Walker, what a story, right? Like, it would have been fun to see my guy Kyle Schwarber, win on his home ballpark. But Jordan Walker, the rookie, doubling his salary for the year by winning the $1 million prize, like, just everything about it was great. His parents were there in the stands, and they were interacting with the fans. It was great. No, it was great. And Kyle Schwarber didn't need the money, and Kyle Schwarber doesn't need the extra fame or anything. So outside of my homerism and rooting for Kyle Schwarber, everything about how that ended, it was actually honestly great. So I have no qualms, I left happy.
It was very Philly the way it ended.
It really was. My brother actually said, he's like, only Philadelphia could have a soul-crushing defeat in the Home Run Derby on their own home ballpark.
And then everyone went away happy anyways, because
everybody did. I didn't see anyone who was like legit mad, right? Like, everyone was just like, come on. That would have been great. But anyway, Chris, that's for later in the episode. Let's talk about it. The All-Star Game had barely wrapped up before Major League Baseball was like, hey, if there's an All-Star Game in 2027, here's what the logo would look like.
Well, I like how we're all pretending that next season's going to happen. It's just a good way to forget about all our troubles. So next year, the All-Star Game is scheduled to be played at Chicago Wrigley Field. First time since 1990 that the game has been played at Wrigley Field like that. It should be at Wrigley Field like every 15 years, just on a regular rotation. It's just such an iconic venue.
Truly.
And they're never going to update it. They're never going to. So you can't reward it for replacing the ballpark. So come on.
Yeah.
Right? Or you swap Wrigley and Fenway or something. We just need. What we need to do is we start playing the All-Star Game in like historic venues. Like, can they rebuild the Polo Grounds for this?
Well, I mean, they have like the Rickwood Classic, right? Like, and they,
the Home Run Derby there.
They play the Hall of Fame weekend game there in Williamsport at the Little League ballpark. Like, that would be fun to do some of that with Major League Baseball.
What'd be fun is the Home Run Derby at that ballpark in Mexico City, where it's like 3 miles above sea level. Boom. No humidor for that.
No, absolutely not. I learned, Chris, during our week last week in Philadelphia, a stat. I don't know if I shared this while we were talking. There is one out of the 30 Major League franchises that has not hosted an All-Star game. You're nodding like you know what that is. Okay, let's call it a trivia question.
That's the Tampa Bay Rays.
That is the Tampa Bay Rays. Even the now Sacramento A's hosted back in their Oakland days. They, I think, are the longest drought right now of all the teams who have hosted. That they were the longest ago because it was like 1987 or something. So
yeah, that sounds about right.
Been a while.
And Tampa Bay will get their All-Star game whenever they figure out which ballpark they plan on building, because this new one, this is now their third or fourth different plan for a ballpark in the third or fourth different site.
Yeah.
Until I see beams being built
Right.
In the Tampa Bay
Right.
area, I'm not believing it.
Let's swing back here though, Chris, to the Major League Baseball All Star Game in 2027. This logo, it's got a star in it. It's got a certain credit card branding in there. I guess the main feature here is like the Wrigley marquee, like a real super
Mhm.
stylized Wrigley marquee. When they unveiled the logo, they unveiled it against a green background, which I guess is meant to represent like the ivy at Wrigley. But there's no actual ivy in the logo. That feels a little bit like a missed opportunity to me. I would have liked to have seen ivy like maybe on the star or something.
Now, without having seen the additional artwork that comes with the All-Star game, I
Hmm.
bet you there's going to be ivy in like a secondary mark or some of the stadium signage they use.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so here's Major League Baseball again putting out their new templated All-Star logo system,
Yeah.
which is quite successful so far because not a single person is picking up that this is a templated system. So
Right.
kudos to MLB. I chatted with the team over there and I told them to take a peek at how the Grey Cup did it, how the NHL draft did it. And if you want to do a templated system, that's the way to do it. And they're doing it. So for those who don't recognize the template, it is big star in the background, MLB logo on the top, All-Star game in the middle with a star in between all and star, and then location dot year below. And that template has now been in place since 25. Atlanta was the first, Philadelphia was the second, Chicago was the third. And what they're doing is they're really incorporating a lot of local stuff into it just to try to differentiate it a bit. You'll know they'll change the colors of the star in the background. This is definitely the Wrigley Field marquee that they're using here. They have the 6 point Chicago star in between all and star. It's in Cubs colors, you know. So there's not going to be much else to say about it since it's a simple logo because it's following that templated system. But I don't think it's that bad, as far as a templated logo goes. It certainly could be worse. It certainly could be more exciting. But I agree with you. It'd be nice to see some ivy, climbing on the star in the background, pretending the star is the outfield wall or something. But it's a templated system, and we're going to get what we're going to get. I look forward to the secondary marks and the caps that they'll wear for this game that'll never be played.
That's tragic. I guess they'll just recycle this for what, 2029, right? Like just whenever the next All-Star
Yeah.
opportunity is.
Well,
Is
because they're saying 28 might be blocked because of the Olympics, right? Or no, they're saying 28. Have you heard it? Have you heard this, Paul?
I thought I saw San Francisco for 2028.
Has it been officially announced? That
I
was a
don't
rumor, right?
I don't know if that's official or not, or if I just saw that like somebody posted it on Threads and I believed it because that's what I do.
So, so assuming it's not official, this is what I had heard is that originally the plan was for MLB to do Baltimore, Toronto, either or, back and forth, or Boston.
Okay.
Baltimore, Toronto, or Boston for 28, 29, 30, and whatever team gets whatever year in there, who knows? It just rotates. But now there's the possibility of Major League Baseball players playing in the 28 Summer Olympics,
Oh.
which are where, Paul?
That's going to be also in California. That's going to be
Yes.
in Los
Los
Angeles.
Angeles.
Yeah.
So the new idea is that with the 28 Olympics, a possibility for the players, they might have the All Star game in California instead. So San Francisco was floated as a possible placement for 28. And then now it's like, well, does Wrigley get 29? And does that mean Toronto, Boston, Baltimore now have to fight for 30, 31, 32? And now we're really pushing things far. But then
Right.
hold on,
Oh,
32 Olympics. So does that get
and
messed up again?
and the American League partisans are feeling slighted right now. I know it was just in Texas a couple of years ago, but it does seem like a lot of National League teams, especially with Toronto and Baltimore, getting sort of shunted. Toronto's pretty far on that list too. It's been a long time since Toronto held a All-Star game.
1991. Yeah,
Yeah,
91. Just 1 year after Wrigley hosted.
yeah.
So, you know, Major League Baseball likes to dangle all-star games like carrots at the end of a stick
Oh, I
for
see.
owners to, improve your ballpark, do something, buy a
Do
new
something.
stadium or do some renovations.
Yeah,
And it works typically.
yeah.
Toronto put a bunch of renovations into their stadium. Baltimore's done quite a bit in the last couple of years. So yeah, I guess it's time, but it'd be nice to see a regular 30-year rotation.
Just everyone gets it
You're
every 30 years.
Well, your city's guaranteed to get it at least once every 30 years, just
Just
to
Yeah.
just to move it around. Yeah, like it doesn't necessarily have to be in the same order. I guess it would. It would
Okay.
if it's.
Just like there'd be a block every 30 years, they would reset and everyone gets it once in the next 3 decades.
I don't know, Paul. It's too early. I'm jet lagged for my 45-minute flight.
How soon before Las Vegas gets it? Like that, you got to factor that into
There you
like if you're
go.
looking at the 2030 season, right?
Vegas is going to get it quick. That's
Yeah,
my guess.
I would think so.
I'm starting to connect the dots here, and I'm starting to think that Toronto's not going to host the All Star Game for any time soon.
Ever.
Ever.
I mean, Vegas, they were denied a World Cup game because I guess they didn't have the seating capacity for it. So maybe they
Oh,
could have an All
Poor
Star game.
Las Vegas didn't get entertainment. What else are we going to do in Vegas if we can't go to a World
I'm
Cup game?
I'm just bitter, Chris, because I feel like the world just moved on. Like, okay, that was the All Star game in Philadelphia, and now we're going to move on, and now everyone's talking about next year, a year which, as we have noted, is likely not to happen at all. So,
Not going to happen. No baseball. Sorry. It's what is it? It's a Jackie Robinson 80th anniversary next year. I
wow,
think, yeah, my math is right on that. So we're
wow,
going to miss out on that milestone season. We're going to miss out on Major League Baseball can't do their SportsLogos.Net 30th anniversry patch on their
wow.
jerseys, which is
The Blue Jays were going to wear that, right? Like in
all the teams are going to wear it, Paul.
we're going to get it all. uh,
So yeah, there's a lot that we're going to miss next year.
yeah.
But what we're not going to miss next year, Paul,
You
we're
beat
going
me
to
to my segue. I was going to say,
segue.
let's talk about an All-Star game that is going to happen next year. I like this logo for the NHL All Star Game in 2027 in Long Island, New York. I like the colors. I like the lighthouse, and I like the sort of the beachy mid-Atlantic coast vibe that it has going on.
I've always known you to be a fan of lighthouses, of course. You have quite the collection of miniature lighthouses in your house. We've all seen it.
Everyone knows that, Chris. And I've been watching Widow's Bay on whatever streaming service that's on. That's a good one with Matthew Reese. Holy smokes, that's a good show.
Not a sponsor. Matthew Reese. Yeah, I saw him in a series recently, and I really enjoyed that as well. Let's see here. I'm looking at the logo. I was on vacation. Well, I
Okay.
was away on business, I should say, not on vacation.
Yeah.
So I'm getting a good look at this logo for the first time. There is some heavy, heavy references to the mid 90s New York Islanders logos on here. The
Mm.
fisherman branding, which let's remind everybody, everyone hated that when it came out. And it was used as like the benchmark for bad unveilings, bad rebrandings. So much so that it was replaced almost immediately. The Islanders didn't even have a chance to change their jersey template. They just took the logo off the jersey and replaced it with their old logo with the same wavy striping pattern. And it was quite the mismatched design, but people needed that, what they called the fish stick logo off of that jersey. But now, because it's been 30 years, everyone
Yeah.
loves it.
Yeah.
So this logo is heavy, heavy on that quickly eliminated logo. We got the colors of it, which is teal, orange, and blue. The waves at the bottom, which are taken directly from the jerseys of that era. That uniform also had an actual fairly popular lighthouse secondary logo, which is what I'm guessing is the reason for the lighthouse in this one. I don't know if I like this logo. It feels
Mm.
like a minor league
Mm.
All Star Game logo. Like it feels like something I'd see the ECHL trotting out for an All Star Game, and I don't quite know why I feel that way. It
Yeah.
just doesn't feel like an NHL All Star Game logo, and maybe it's just a shift in design style that I haven't picked up on yet. I think it's also unusual that they put the state name in the location, Long Island, comma NY. I don't think we've seen that in an All-Star Game logo before, where they
Hmm.
actually incorporate, like the mailing address, I guess you could say. Yeah, so if you want to send a letter to the All-Star Game, you know where to send it. And it's quite
uh,
small. Like Long Island, New York is in small letters. I look forward to the uniforms they'll wear for it. I'm hoping that there's like if we're gonna go in on fisherman references on this, the uniforms better be fisherman themed as well.
you're tapping into one of my writing hangups, which is when people use postal abbreviations to reference states like in the middle of a sentence. It's like what
Mhm.
like yeah, I don't know why. I'm looking at a graphic from the SportsLogos.Net socials here to see if there have been any All Star Game logos that have included the postal abbreviation for the U.S. state where the game is played, and I'm not seeing them. It does like the lighthouse as L to me. I wondered if that's what you were getting at. Made it seem sort of minor leaguey to you, like the sort of type as image. But then this one from 2023, obviously in Florida, had palm trees because that's the law. That one did the same thing with the palm trees as L's, right? So I wonder if that one also felt sort of minor leaguey to you.
You know what I think it is? I think you're right about the lighthouse. It might be the bright colors, it might be the sharp edges, it might be the fact that it has a postal abbreviation in it, or a combination of all of the above.
Well, and maybe like okay, so the other thing that feels intentionally dated, and you referred this sort of as a throwback, but like the teal, right? Like this logo does feel like something out of the 90s, right? Like it just needs a little bit of purple in there and it would feel very 90s-ish.
Well, yeah, because and I guess that's just they're just pulling directly out of that 90s rebrand that
Yeah.
was so unsuccessful back then. And maybe this is an example of why those 90s logos belong to the 90s. Maybe they don't belong to the 20s like we think they do. Um, because like here it is, we're pulling from those elements, and it's just like something's not quite right about
Yeah.
this. Maybe it's a combination of the 90s plus the, I guess, 20s, we'll call it. It just doesn't, it's just not landing with me,
Mm.
Paul. I don't feel it. And I hate to say that to you because I know how much of a fan you are of lighthouses.
Lighthouse,
Um,
but not necessarily the Islanders, right? Like this
mhm.
is growing up as a Philadelphia sports fan, hockey was probably fourth on my list of the four major sports, but we learned to hate those New York sports teams, the Rangers and the Islanders.
And you consider the Islanders to be New York?
Should I not?
I don't know. They don't feel like New York,
Hmm. Hmm.
well,
I
maybe
mean,
that's why they put comma NY in the logo, just to remind us.
that's right, to remind us that they're there. And you, as we will learn later, are one of the foremost experts on New York, living in Toronto right now. So, with your recent experience in the city.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I had a blast in New York City.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Not as good as your time in Philly. Is that what I'm
I
catching
loved
from?
Philadelphia, Paul.
Uh,
I would spend months in Philadelphia if I had the opportunity. I got shoved by somebody in New York, so I'm
wow.
not too
You're
keen on New York right now.
all right. You're
But
still recovering from me honking at a person in Philadelphia, though.
don't honk at people, Paul. It's not polite.
They weren't going, Chris. I don't know how else to communicate to them that they're driving bad. That was like within like 30 seconds after you and I met in person for the very first time. Like I picked you up at the bus station, and moments later I was honking at people on on 11th Street.
Yeah, what are you doing? Don't do that.
They were
But
not going.
what was my exact words? Is I said, Paul, I'd just like to point out that made me very uncomfortable.
Okay, so
But
there.
then later, I convinced you to let a man go into your lane. So
That's true. That's
I'm
true.
working on you.
Yeah, that's true. I'm all about the zipper merge though. Like when it comes to like, orderly, getting through traffic, I am all about that. So it's we did well and we had a great time. We'll talk more about that later on in this
Yes.
episode.
But
Right now,
first,
Chris, yeah, we All-Star game number 3, All-Star match, I guess
mhm.
I should say. The World Cup, Chris, is in the books. But that doesn't mean soccer is over. We've got soccer coming up, and this year, the 2026 Major League Soccer All-Star Game, Wednesday, July 29 in Charlotte. So just days away at this point. We've got jerseys with a kind of electric feeling about them. What's Chris? What's going on with the blue, green, yellow electricity here on this jersey?
Electricity.
And this is an
Well,
article
guess
you wrote. So
I wrote it.
this
A
article is by
rare
Chris
soccer,
Creamer.
a rare soccer story. I think our soccer reporter, Glenn Cook, was on vacation. He and his family went to Niagara Falls in my neck of the woods. So I took this one for him. Major League Soccer is celebrating their 30th anniversary this year. I'm sure you've heard, right? Everyone's high on MLS 30 fever this year. It's everywhere. There's banners for it all around town. To celebrate that, the league has gone back to their original color scheme for the All Star game, which was blue, green, and black, I believe.
Mm.
Not only that, but they are going back to one of the two All-Star Game jersey styles that they wore in that first game way back in 1996, which had these stripes radiating down from the shoulders to like each player's midsection. This was the jersey that the 1996 MLS Eastern Conference All-Stars wore when they beat the Western Conference All-Stars way back when at Giant Stadium in the first MLS All-Star Game. Uh, but there's some differences here. The stripes are a little more jagged, a little more like lightning bolts, as Paul alluded to. It's got a big giant chime advertisement across the front. I love that they used the retro Adidas logo on the front collar,
Mm.
though, Jersey fanatics might point out that Adidas wasn't using that logo back in 1996. They were actually using their current logo. So they're
Oh,
throwing back to pre 30 years ago
wow.
because retro, why not be retro? But those lightning bolts, why are they lightning bolts on the side there? Well, Paul, fortunately, Major League Soccer has an explanation for that. Those lightning bolts represent, are you ready? The energy and talent on display. Yeah, I
I
love design speak. Just say lightning bolts because lightning bolts be cool.
I told you that my friend Guido from Ecuador, who I went to graduate school with for graphic design, told me, and this was not a compliment. He said that the worst thing that a designer could be is a good talker, because it makes it real easy to explain away sort of meaningless design decisions. And so I think
Just say it looks cool. Just
it's
say it
just
looks
say
cool.
it feels 90s. So
Excuse me, why did you use lightning bolts? Because lightning bolts are cool. Oh, why did you use a diamond pattern in the background? Is it because of the league's brightest stars and Charlotte's passionate fan base? No, because diamonds are cool and they look cool in the background. Okay. And
it's
why does it say chime across the front? Because they gave us a lot of money. All right. The first
this is
honest design explanation.
this is why I love minor league baseball, because the design decisions might be goofy, but they mean something, right? Like, why are they the Erie Moon Mammoths? Because a guy named George Moon discovered a mammoth skeleton right by the ballpark. Like they mean something.
Yeah, I guess they do mean something. They mean more money, Paul.
That's true. That's true.
Oh, look at me all
Yes.
cynical
These
after spending 3 days at Fanatics Fest.
right, yeah. These famously rich minor league baseball teams just rolling in cash.
Paul, can I talk about Fanatics Fest? Um,
We're almost there,
no,
Chris. What
no,
else
we're
do
not.
Oh,
What's next on the
we
ledger here?
more hockey, Chris, and in fact, we were talking about Las Vegas earlier in the episode. So more hockey, more Las Vegas. It's the 10th season, if you can possibly imagine, of those Vegas Golden Knights. Not the Las Vegas Golden Knights, just the Vegas Golden Knights. They started in 1718. It's now 26-27. So they've got a big Roman numeral X for 10, and then like an Excalibur style sword, right? Like that looks like it's taken right from the Las Vegas Strip, from the Excalibur there. Yeah, and then there's the team colors here with the gold and the black and the red. So it looks like to me a little bit like we're heading off to medieval times for for dinner and a show.
I feel like if any team can get away with using Roman numerals for their
Yeah,
anniversary mark, like this is the Golden Knights, right? I think that's a Roman inspired helmet, right? So they really got to lean into this, right?
right.
Okay, this is Roman numeral X. We're Roman gladiators and knights, and we have swords and we have helmets and masks, and we're in Vegas, and there's fireworks everywhere, and crazy show, and we've only made the Stanley Cup Finals 3 times. What a pitiful franchise.
You're so
Um,
bitter about this, Chris.
look, I want fan bases to suffer before they
It's true.
see success.
It's true.
And I know that's counterproductive to, okay, this is now going to have nothing to do with the logo. First, I just want to establish some logo facts here. Paul already described it. We don't know if what's going on in the uniform or not. There's a big ad on the Golden Knights uniform, so maybe not. Who knows? We'll find out. I hope it goes on there. How come for all these years, pro sports leagues really wanted new markets to survive, but they ensured that those new markets had the worst possible teams?
Mm. So when I think about this, my mind goes to what are the exceptions? I remember being very bitter about the Diamondbacks winning the World Series in their fourth season.
Right. So there's two sides here, right?
Yeah,
Well, the new market should experience some success because otherwise you might lose interest quickly and
right.
then that's it. The
Yeah.
market's dead. Or you could say something like, well, this is the true test of the strength of the market long term.
Mm,
If they can survive this, then they can survive anything. Or you give them a good team, and fans of the other teams get annoyed that this
hmm.
championship doesn't mean anything because you just handed it out to a new team that doesn't, just showed up out of nowhere.
It's a great question though, right? Like it's
Yeah.
if you've got a new team in a new city, what's the healthiest thing for the league? What's the best thing for that market? And those things could be at cross purposes. So I don't
I
know.
think ideally you want a team that competes for a playoff spot.
Yeah,
That would be the sweet spot
yeah,
because you have the teams doing okay-ish. There's interest in it. You don't have a team that's going like 3-70 in their first season.
right.
Instead, you have a team that's fighting for it. The fans are getting into it, and maybe they make the playoffs, maybe they get knocked out in the first round, but I think everyone's happy. And then you see what happens though if you don't field a competitive team in a new market. You get something like the Vancouver Grizzlies, who had a terrible team in 5 seasons because expansion club back then with the old way they did expansion, plus players not wanting to go to a foreign market, and that's it. They're gone, gone forever. Now Vancouver doesn't get another chance. So the NHL kind of ensuring Vegas had a bit of a leg up when it came to assembling their expansion roster. I'm going to say it was probably a good decision long term because it solidified Las Vegas as a strong market. The NHL was the first of the big four to put a team in Las Vegas, and they
Right.
really wanted to corner that. They knew everyone else was going to jump in soon after.
Yeah.
And I think it was smart decision wise from the NHL to make sure this happens and make sure the team is successful. But as a fan of a team that has not made the finals in, it'll be 60 years coming up this year, I'm a little sore.
At first, I wasn't sure if you were talking about the Maple Leafs or the Flyers. So
Oh, the Flyers just made it a couple years ago. 2010, the last time they made it.
I guess, yeah, that feels like a long time ago, Chris.
I guess it was a long time ago.
That's the problem
Yeah.
with that. Yeah. So, well, they've had this franchise there for 10 seasons, and I don't know. The logo really does feel to me like something that was pulled off Excalibur, the casino hotel, which, by the way, I haven't been to Vegas in a couple of years, so I have no idea if that casino still actually exists. It's hard to keep
Yeah.
track sometimes.
They just blow up casinos left, right, and center.
They really do.
They have stadiums to build, Paul.
My children just saw Ocean's 11 for the first time, so
Nice.
now
That's a
they
good
know.
one.
Yeah, that's a great one. That's
That's a good
absolutely
one.
a great one. So, not too much to say about this logo, though. I agree. That's the big Roman numeral X. I'm sure all logo fans know that I just designed a logo for the 10th iteration of the Baseball Palooza road trip, and I fiddled with a Roman numeral X for a little while and ended up going with the Arabic numerals 10 rather than Roman numerals. So.
Did you put a baseball in the zero?
No, no, I actually did not. No, but
Oh,
there are some baseball. There is some vague references to a baseball with a road with a highway emulating the theme of a baseball
hey, I like
because
that.
it's a road trip. Yeah. Well, maybe I'll send it to you. Have you can have a look. Let me know what you think.
Yeah, the stitches represent baseball and roads and trips, and the 10 represents the 10 times we high-fived on the way. The
Uh,
10 fingers and a high five after a successful road trip.
you're very good at this, Chris. I wish you'd
I've
been
read
around for
my
my master's thesis defense.
I read my fair share of logo
You
explanations.
sure have. Speaking of explaining logos, Chris, one other news item to get to on the website is the Women's Professional Baseball League, which has teams that are named for four coastal cities, but not actually playing in those cities. They're playing in
Mhm.
Illinois, but the teams are named for New York and Boston and Los Angeles and San Francisco. Let's see
Illinois
here.
is right in the middle of
It's
all those
right in
cities.
the middle. Yes, it's equidistant for all of those fans. We've got the Boston Hunters, the New York Heights, the Los Angeles Queens, and the San Francisco Firebells. The logos that they unveiled very much looked like they were from a template with text on a curve and a circle around the icon for each team. I really liked the hats without the text on them, just the logos, and I particularly liked the New York Heights logo, which has the Empire State Building surrounded by a counterform or negative space, as the pessimists call it, letter H there, kind of a Hartford Whalers-esque counterform H built into the logo. What's notable about all of these teams is that each of them is named for a notable historical character in the fight for gender equality. So, a cool league. I thought they were cool logos. I hope this league succeeds. I hope that these teams actually play in those cities someday instead of all of those games happening in Illinois. Springfield, Illinois is where those games are going to play at Robin Roberts Stadium. Robin Roberts, the dude, not Robin Roberts, the woman. Sorry, Robin Roberts, the
Uh,
Hall of Fame Philadelphia Philly, not
that's what I
Robin
assumed.
Roberts, not Robin Roberts, the sports commentator.
I'm assuming that this league is playing all their games in the same stadium to ensure its survival for its first
Right.
couple of years. Now
Yeah.
they don't have to pay travel costs and all that. They want to
Right.
establish that they exist and get
Yeah.
people attached to the teams and the branding and get excited for it before they really start investing on all that. And I think that's a good idea because I want one of these leagues to really pick up and get going. So, like we've seen the success with the WNBA now, despite what the Facebook commenters insist on saying. We've seen success in the PWHL. And now here we go. Let's get a real successful women's baseball league. This is proper baseball, right? This is not
Oh yeah.
softball. This isn't
Yeah.
fast pitch. This is overhand baseball with a baseball and everything.
Right.
Um, I like the idea of naming these teams after female pioneers. I think that's a good idea. The New York Heights were named after Dorothy Height.
Hmm.
These are actually some women I've never heard of before, so this
Right.
is good education for me.
Right.
The LA Queens were inspired by Lizzie Murphy, known as the Queen of the Diamond, one of the first women to play against Major League ball players. Fire Bells in San Francisco are inspired by Lily Hitchcock Coit, known as Firebell, a champion of San Francisco's volunteer firefighters. And the Boston Hunters are named by Harriet Hunt, the first woman to apply to Harvard Medical School. These are some interesting stories here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and the logos, they're pretty good.
Hmm.
Aside from the templated roundels around it, I'm kind of skeptical that they can't be the official logos, right? Like they have, I'm assuming that the roundels around it, I'm hoping I should say, were just as part of the introduction to say, here's all our teams.
Right.
If these are the logos with the same everything around it, yeah, that's a bit of a misstep. But the icons themselves,
Yeah.
hunters have a green, white, and yellow eagle clutching a bat,
Yeah.
kind of flying downward. The heights, as you mentioned, with their negative space, pessimistic. H in there. The queens have a black Q with four gold diamonds above it, and the
Yeah.
fire bells have a combination phoenix rising from the ashes, but also in the shape of a bell. So, yes, I some logo designs in here that I really really like,
Yeah.
and I'm looking at the caps. I'm like, hey, I could do with one of those caps. They're pretty nice,
Yeah.
and let's just hope this league gets off the ground and has a successful first season. It's going to start next week or 2 weeks from now,
Oh,
August
right.
1st,
Yeah.
2026. So, fingers crossed that this one does well and they can expand and they can play in their actual host cities. I'm curious to see if this method works. I think it will.
The jerseys that they unveiled, I really like. I mean, pretty simple, pretty straightforward, typographically sound, I think. The Queens feels like it has kind of almost like a gambling, it's like got the Q and the four diamonds, right? There's sort of almost like a playing card, maybe not gambling, but at least a playing card sort of feeling about it. For me, the test is, they unveiled this graphic with the loosely structured caps that people call dad hats. I don't know if that's appropriate for this league or not, but the dad hat style cap is my favorite. And I'm looking at this New York Heights one, and I actually went on and looked at the possibility of buying one, and it was sold out. And so I'm on the list for, hey, like let
Hey,
let me know when when these are available again.
all right. Well, hey, that's a good start. By the way, the
Yeah.
four diamonds on the Queen's logo represents A minimalist symbol of power, prestige, and the game of baseball itself.
Okay.
Let's just
Uh,
say,
well,
let's just say diamonds be cool.
right,
Let's
exactly.
just say that.
Okay, Chris, what do the YouTubers have to say this week? Did they have anything to say about our abbreviated 20-minute episode that we recorded in Todd Radham's studio in Philadelphia last week?
Well, they sure do, Paul. But before I get to that, I also like to point out that we neglected to read the comments in our abbreviated 20-minute episode. I'm going to fly through those ones quickly.
Okay.
At Kilo One says he loves the River Bandits. We were talking
Oh,
about raccoons a couple of weeks ago.
yeah.
Just saying how they have a fun identity crisis between the red and blue at their stadium, between the old red look still around alongside their current blue look as a result of the Royals affiliation.
That's right.
It looks like they have an identity crisis there, which I guess is common in minor league baseball when affiliations change all the time. They don't want to repaint the stadium over
Yeah.
and over again.
There's a little bit of that in Portland, Maine, because they were teal when they first debuted in 1993 as a Marlins affiliate, and then they were red and blue when they switched to the Red Sox affiliation. And so you
Let,
see both of those all over the ballpark.
let's put that in the affiliation agreements, right? You have to come repaint our ballpark.
I like it. Sometimes
Uh,
minor league teams will choose team colors based on what color the ballpark is.
okay, that's a good idea, and
Yeah.
that's what the Orioles are doing with their City Connects this year. Um, J underscore scam. I think you're talking about Aussie rules with your
Oh yeah.
sides.
Sides.
Okay. He says they have Aussie rules in North America, not as big. And in Ontario, there is apparently, pointing out to my home province, apparently there is an Ontario League of Aussie rules. And I
Yeah.
am interested. Thank you, Jay Scam. I'll check that out. At Winnext, remember when I had raccoons?
Oh.
At Winnext says, you can't just tempt us with a video of Chris bathing raccoons and not show it to us. At Winnext, you are absolutely right. I should have showed that video. I do have a sad update on the raccoons. All three of them sadly passed away shortly after that whole thing. That was not fun for our family, but I think we gave them a very enjoyable last few days. They were already well past the point of saving when we found them, but as I said to my little girl who was not taking it too well, I said. We gave them something that raccoons never typically get, and that is love.
And a
So they
bath.
experienced that. And a bath. Yes,
Yeah.
Paul.
Yeah.
Yes,
I'm
Paul.
sorry, Chris. That's a
I was
sad
all
story.
sweet and
I
stuff, and
know.
you had to throw in your bath joke. Okay.
It wasn't a joke. It's something that raccoons don't really have a lot of. Uh, but I am sad for you and your family. That was a sad update.
Yeah, no, I'm unfortunately that's the case. But now my family is insisting we get a pet. So
Oh,
not a pet raccoon. Not a
okay,
pet
good.
raccoon. Uh, at Michael Makowski. He says he's just going to keep bugging us with questions. And this is
I like
topical to
this.
this episode because he says, as an Islanders fan, I like that they're doing a fan vote for a third uniform. What would you guys like to see as their third uniform? A throwback fisherman, a
Yeah.
fisherman with updated colors, a fisherman with current jersey template, orange, or something different. He apologizes for not having time to ask about the Bridgeport Islanders, which we appreciate the apology. It sounds like Michael Makowski is giving us the option between fisherman, fisherman, or fisherman,
Yeah.
which goes back to my theory that everyone has
Right.
forgotten the mid 90s.
Yeah. I want a teal lighthouse.
Okay, Paul wants a teal lighthouse. I'm not going to argue with that because that would be all right. I am someone who is very boring when it comes to third jerseys. I feel they should simply be the team's secondary color with their primary logo or secondary logo on the chest with the same striping. I know that's boring. I want it to feel like an extension of their home and road set, like a natural, just slides right in. I don't want a completely new design or a retro design. Retro uniforms should be reserved for throwback games or recolored to the modern color scheme. That's that on that one.
So says the
Aquila,
world's foremost expert on sports logos and design.
thank you, Paul, for that inaccurate statement. At Kilo One, responding to our Philadelphia episode last week, Paul and I each got new ice cream Sunday hats instead of
Yeah.
helmets. At Kilo One says that he has heard that Rawlings makes the little plastic helmets,
Oh,
which I did not know. That would be very interesting. But
yeah.
that's according to his local helmet Sunday ice cream place. So whether or not you trust the local ice cream stop is up to you. Bob blah blah blah. Tim
Blah,
blah
blah,
blah
blah, blah, blah.
6128. Yep. He says, Chris, I'm a proud Canadian, and I appreciate that you let your Maple Leaf flag fly during these podcasts. I can't help myself. That's just
Yeah,
part
how
of
could
who
you
I am.
not?
However,
Yeah, here we go.
when are you going to honor with a U the huge subscriber base of CFL fans to this channel and introduce the much anticipated CFL segment of this show? His comment is that those unsightly, oh, we should talk about those unsightly Pacific Frost uniforms that the Lions are wearing this year. I'll throw some CFL content at you. The entire this CFL has this whole new theme that they're rolling out, but refusing to call it a theme, where every team is introducing these white on white uniforms, which I guess is supposed to represent Canadian winters. But the CFL season's played in July. So I don't understand. I don't understand. You know what? Move the CFL season to the winter. That'd
Yeah,
be fun. No
yeah.
one would go to the games, but it would be fun to watch a game in Winnipeg without a dome in February. Let's go.
I would watch that.
And at Lee Gregg 360 wraps it up with I'm only here for the best in Bridgeport Islanders coverage. Great podcast, guys. Let's be honest, Paul. You and I talk more about the Bridgeport Islanders without talking about the Bridgeport Islanders than anybody in Bridgeport, the Islanders organization,
Yeah.
or the world.
Yeah. Well, we've got a whole segment on them planned for the end of this episode here, so
That's right.
let's
Get ready,
let's
folks.
make sure we get to that today. Your exclusive Bridgeport Islander content. In the meantime, hey, rate, review, subscribe on Apple Podcasts. That helps us get the word out about the show. And if you leave a comment, we'll read it on the episode, just like we will your YouTube comments. So thanks for all of that. It's always fun to hear what you all are thinking and get those questions from you. And yeah, Chris, I picked up a couple more of those ice cream hats. We got them. We got water ice at the Fan Village All Star Fest Village. And then I got some more at the All Star Game proper on Tuesday.
Was
They're
it the
great.
same design?
Same design, yeah. These helmets, they're great in the trading community, right? Like the ones that are exclusive to like one specific event. You can they're in high
Stocking
demand.
up some currency.
That's
Helmet
exactly
currency.
right. I'm a king among the ice cream helmet traders and collectors.
You need to trade a bunch for one of them ramen helmets that Todd got in Tokyo.
No, I just put that one in my bag and left with it. So I hope Todd's not listening to this, but that one's out on the shelf already.
Todd's ramen is sitting on the counter, getting all
It's just
cold
a
and soggy.
big pile of ramen on his kitchen island there.
Well, Paul, it's that time again. It's time for Paul Caputo's Minor League Minute with Paul Caputo, starring the one and only podcast Paul Caputo.
It's the Minor League Minute with Paul Caputo. Paul Caputo. It's the Minor League Minute with Paul Caputo. Paul Caputo. It's the Minor League Minute with Paul Caputo.
I'm quoting all over the place here. It's me, Chris, podcast Paul Caputo with the Minor League Minute, talking about, since we had a Phillies-themed week last week, and including me wearing a Reading Phillies t-shirt to our get-together with a bunch of fun friends in Fishtown in Philadelphia. Let's talk about the Reading Fightin' Phils. They were the Reading Phillies. They had a railroad-themed identity because of Monopoly's Reading Railroad, of course. And there is actually a Reading Railroad there. That's not just an invention of Monopoly. They then switched to a grandiose created Reading Fightin' Phils brand, which has as its primary centerpiece an ostrich. Why an ostrich, Chris? Because they have what they call crazy hot dog vendor who wears one of these costumes that makes it look like he is a dude riding an ostrich and distributing hot dogs. Their main logo is the letter F with a fist punching through. Not sure if that's the best thing for a Philadelphia Philly minor league affiliate to do because of the reputation of Phillies fans. Still fun. Fightin' Phils, ostrich, makes no sense. It's good old-fashioned minor league fun.
We need more logos that are just punching things. Do you think that the crazy ostrich vendor got any sort of compensation for that? Like, I mean, that's his invention, I would think. I don't know how it works, but
Right? Like, does he own the whole idea of ostriches? Like, but they did put it out there, like, we're this because because we have this hot dog vendor who dresses like this. So, maybe he got a free hat.
he probably got a free hat. And maybe they gave him a free ostrich.
Maybe they did have. I went to a game there and they had two ostriches in a cage outside the ballpark.
That's okay. That's wild. Well,
Yeah.
do they serve ostrich eggs?
Oh man, I wish just get like an omelet that was like as big as your head. That would be amazing.
Do not have ostrich burgers though. That would just be weird.
Yeah. It's a little bit like being in Australia where they eat kangaroo, right? Like it's like kangaroo everything, and then also here's a kangaroo burger. One last thing about the Reading Fight and Phils. I was in the groomel party of a friend whose name was Phil, who got married in central Pennsylvania. And one of the groomel party gifts was we all got Reading Fight and Phils with the ostrich baseball caps.
Beautiful. I
Yeah.
love minor league themed wedding gifts. Should we talk about our crazy week? Hopefully, we have enough time to really get into it.
Where were they this week is a joint, a mutual where were they? Because we were, but
Where were we, Paul?
we were in Fishtown, a neighborhood in Philadelphia. We got to hang out with some great people from the baseball community. Tyler Maughan, who's a broadcaster and podcaster with minor league baseball. Sky Dillon, who is a logo creator. And it's not a secret that news is out there. He did the Philadelphia All Star Game logo. Todd Radom, who is our close friend, but also designer extraordinaire. All these people and many, many more were hanging out in Fishtown. Some Reddit moderators. We got to meet the Reddit moderators. That was fun. I still don't entirely understand Reddit. I tried, Chris. I really did, but I still don't entirely get it. That was really fun. We talked about that a little bit last week. We thought we were going to do interviews from that fun night, and we just never did.
We were having too much fun. We didn't want to interrupt everybody.
So much fun, and the schnitzel was good.
The schnitzel was great. I love listening to the episode though, because you can tell that we've had a couple of drinks when they switch to the on-site report, and then it abruptly cuts back.
Right.
Oh, wasn't that fun?
Yeah, and I like Todd like bouncing back and forth like in and out of the room, just like, hey guys, look at the shirt I'm wearing now. Like, and like, hey, have you seen this thing?
He was chirping us as we were doing the thing on the remote, I guess you could call it.
But then the next two nights were the home run derby and the game. You were at the home run derby. It wasn't your first time in Philadelphia. It wasn't your first time at Citizens Bank Park, I don't think, right?
Nope. I've been a few times before.
But it certainly was a vibe.
It was a vibe. I loved the vibe.
Yeah.
I also got to do media day.
Yes.
On Monday morning.
Yeah.
Which I didn't really get anything out of. It was just cool to kind of be there and watching the press conference and all that.
Sure.
There was a whole opportunity to go and chat with players one-on-one.
Yeah.
But Paul, the line was long.
So
I went to the store instead and got to enjoy shopping around in a relatively empty store. I got like a red blazer jacket with all the team logos on it.
Cool.
And my plan was to wear it to everything. And then I put it on and I was like, I'm never going to wear this to anything. But it looks good on the wall.
Yeah, I'll bet.
The home run derby was fun. I loved the vibe of Philadelphia. I loved the fans booing anything not from Philly. And I asked, one of the members of my party, I was like, why are we booing? Like, why are we booing a Royals player?
Right.
And he says, because they ain't Philly.
He's absolutely
Michael Buffer was introducing the players, brought him into a boxing ring.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. And then the flyover and stuff. And they didn't sing the Canadian anthem before the home run derby, which I disapprove of because there were Blue Jays there.
Yeah. Were there Blue Jays in it?
No, that might be why.
Yeah, I guess that's why.
There.
Yeah.
If there's a home run derby in Toronto and all 8 players are representing the Blue Jays, no American anthem.
Okay, deal.
That's the precedent you just set.
That is the retribution that we deserve. That's interesting. Listen, I have to say, the booing, I agree, was fun. I was booing and laughing, right? Like I was, and I feel bad because, like I said, I really like Jordan Walker. I think Jordan Walker is great for baseball, and I think his story is great. I was booing him, right? Like I was rooting for my guy. I was rooting for Kyle Schwarber, but my heart was in my throat, Chris, because we were just booing everything that wasn't Philadelphia. And then we get to the All Star game and it's all fun and everyone's having a great time. And it really was, it was the United Nations of baseball fandom, right? Like it was 95% Phillies fans, but you could still see all the fans of the other teams. Heart in my throat, Chris, when they were like, and now for the Canadian national anthem. And I'm like, please, Phillies fan, don't boo. Please don't boo. Please don't boo. And God I'm glad
I'm thrilled to hear that
Yeah.
because I certainly couldn't hear the anthem because for some reason Fox goes to commercial just as they start to play the Canadian
Mm,
anthem.
how about that? No,
That's
everyone was
some true respect, Fox. Thank you.
right. Right. Yeah. What's weird that Fox would not be respectful. Yeah, but no, Philly fans were very respectful of the Canadian anthem and applauded appropriately. And the other thing I like about Phillies fans is Phillies fans are just like knowledgeable, right? Like, I mean, there was this guy McGonigal from the Detroit Tigers who grew up in the area, right? Like he grew up in what we call Delco, Delaware County is Delco. And he grew up in the area and he got a huge ovation when he was introduced, right? Like all the other players are getting booed. He gets a big ovation. Mike Trout is from Philly. He's a great story. He got a big ovation. So I feel like Phillies fans acquitted themselves well. I would say Phillies fans acquitted themselves better than the actual Phillies did. You
Yeah,
know,
that was
Christopher
not good.
Sanchez comes in and gives up 3 runs in the first inning. The Phillies batters went, I think, 0 for 5 with like 4 strikeouts. It was, there were a ton of strikeouts in the game anyway, but it was not a banner night for the Phillies in the actual game.
And my boy Dylan Cease got the win. So we're
Dylan
all
Cease
good.
got the win. Yeah. Jesus Luzardo pitched well. And then, oh, you know what else happened that was weird too was I don't think they were expecting Joan Duran to come in, the Phillies closer, and they didn't have his whole multimedia thing all queued up, and so he came
Oh,
into this like
that's too
weird.
bad.
They started the video, and then he was like all the way to the pitcher's mound before they got the audio queued up, and so like they somehow screwed up the intro for their own All Star closer at that game. So that was a shame.
There was a
Uh,
lot going on.
yeah,
I'm sure there was some distractions going on.
right,
It
but
was
you,
nice seeing you. It was nice hanging out with you. It kind of felt like we had already hung out a million times, which we kind of had.
yeah,
But I left Philly to go to New York for some
yes,
crazy times.
some fanatic stuff.
I was invited up to New York by Fanatics to hang out at Fanatics Fest and provide some feedback on that whole experience. My first day there, I ran into Frank the Tank
Oh
from
God,
Barstool. Frank and I have chatted online since like I think 1999,
yeah,
well before his rants were known to the world.
yeah.
He was ranting to me on ICQ. Um, so it's the first time we'd ever met, and he and I walked around Fanatics Fest for about half hour, and he got stopped every 3 seconds by
Oh,
people who wanted to get a photo and everything.
right.
He took me down to the Barstool offices and gave me a little tour of that space, and I got to watch him record a rant. So
Uh,
I got the whole Frank the Tank package right there. Go
did
ahead.
the rant feel like authentic, or did he go from like, "Hey, Chris, I got to go record this thing," and then it's like, "Grr, now I'm ranting," or was it just like, is that how
No,
he was?
it was authentic
Yeah.
because it was kind of funny. I was sitting in a room with him and the guy who records his rants, and he saw some news on the Mets. It was a Mets the AI thing that came out.
Oh yeah.
And he was just getting all, I can't he started screaming at his phone. And the guy's like, whoa, 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 let's record.
That AI thing was terrible.
So,
It's also bad, Chris.
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So the next day was a big day. Fanatics wanted me to take part on a panel. So I was up on a stage with 4 other Jersey people in the online community and with representatives from the NHL, Major League Baseball, and Mitchell and Ness. And a surprise guest, Chad Ochocinco, was up on
Oh,
the panel with us,
that's cool.
who is apparently a huge collector of soccer jerseys.
Oh,
I think he said, did he say he had like 12,000 or something? I might have misheard him.
wow.
But, Fanatics, they gave me some prepared questions, which I asked. I put my own little spin on them so they didn't sound quite so GPT-ish.
Sure.
And I think it was a fun event. I hate watching the recap video of it because there's me. And yeah, but people seem to enjoy it, and we got some half decent answers, and I made some connections. Fanatics Fest itself, I don't think it's for me. Yeah, I think I'm just old. I think I'm just past this generation. It's
Oh no.
flown right past me. It was a lot of live streamers doing unboxing, a
Mm,
lot of sports cards inside like PSA cases. That's not my thing. I
mm.
want I want a pack of cards that I can open up, and I don't care if I get an insert or an autograph. I want to collect the set. I know that's just not the way the hobby is anymore.
Yeah.
So that was kind of a bummer. I was able to check out some of the merchandise area there. That was nice. They had like a whole vintage section where they were like people's like actual, not vintage inspired, but like actual clothing, sports memorabilia from the 80s and 90s that you could buy. So like if you wanted a 1988 Denver Broncos t-shirt, you could get one. Not a new Broncos t-shirt that looked like it's from 88, like an actual one from
Wow,
88.
that's cool.
That was probably my yeah, that was probably my favorite part of the whole thing. And then they took me to wrestling, where I went to Saturday night's main event at Madison Square Garden and watched Carl Anthony Towns of the New York Knicks chokeslam a dude through a table. Where else
Of course you
did
did.
you experience something like that? But I do want to thank Fanatics for sending me down to New York and giving me the opportunity to provide some feedback on all of their programs. I promise that I will take this opportunity for good and try to, improve the quality of their designs and merchandise that they're putting out there. So I know you guys are just itching to call me a Fanatics shill. That's not the case. I am going to be very honest because I know that this is a very rare opportunity
Yeah.
to really shape the way things go and do so in a way that I feel will be beneficial to the entire community. So stay tuned on that. Hopefully they listen. That's my only concern, Paul.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do this if they ain't going to listen. They ain't paying me. Let me make that clear. This is
Right.
all volunteer.
Yeah.
So if they take my feedback and say, "Pooh, whatever,"
Yeah.
then I'll say the same right back.
They're paying you in hangout time with Ocho Cinco.
I mean, that was pretty cool.
Right? That is cool, right? Like that's
I addressed him on stage. I asked him a question. I didn't want to say, "Hey, Chad."
Right.
So instead I said, "This one's for Mr. Ocho Cinco," which I thought was fun to say.
Did that get a laugh?
No.
Come on, people, laugh. Wake up,
Maybe
America.
Maybe they weren't listening.
One last question, Chris. Did you have some good pizza in New York?
No,
Ah,
I didn't. I
you just
didn't
didn't
have
have
time to do
pizza.
anything.
Okay,
I didn't
all
have
right.
time to. I went to a Canadian themed bar though, called the Canuck. And here's look, one great idea for a themed bar. Lots
Sure.
of Canadians in New York, and
Right.
we're all gonna flock to this place. It's
Yeah.
close to Times Square. I have some notes.
Maybe they'll hire
One,
you too.
there's no poutine on the menu,
Well, I mean, that's automatically disqualifying.
and there's only a couple of Canadian beers on the beer menu.
Yeah.
What are we doing? It's
Yeah,
all
it's-
American beer. The sign to the washrooms said restrooms.
Okay.
We say washrooms in Canada.
say
We don't say
washrooms.
restrooms.
Listen, they need a
And-
consultant.
Last thing, Paul, this
Yeah.
is the easiest one. Aside, poutine's the easiest one.
Yeah.
But the second easiest one, play Canadian music.
Oh,
We
sure.
have a lot of great Canadian music. It was all Green Day and Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Right. Get some Francis Cabrel in there.
The Tragically Hip, Bryan Adams, Rush.
Chris, they need a consultant, right? Like, I mean, that's some low-hanging fruit there that they could fix. So,
Maybe they can fly me down to Canadian themed bar fest.
yeah.
And
And then you could take a bus to Philly and we'll go to a baseball game.
can I go back to Philly, Paul? I want to go back to Philly.
Listen, I'm going to be there soon enough. Your friend Todd Radom is already there. It's, we got lots of hanging out in Philadelphia coming up. And maybe during that hangout time, we can talk about the Bridgeport Islanders. We can't talk about the Bridgeport Islanders
We don't have
here on this
time?
podcast. No, we're out of time, Chris, to talk about that. In the meantime, 21, Roberto Clemente, Chris. It's the Roberto Clemente episode. We should have mentioned that right up front.
That's got to be it. Roberto Clemente. All players wear a 21 patch in September for
Yeah.
Roberto Clemente.
I read his
As we
bio.
should.
Holy smokes. What a story. What a story, that guy's life.
It doesn't seem real. Like he's like otherworldly. He's way better. He's certainly way better than I am. Let's just say that.
Well, I think that's probably true for all of us, Chris. In the meantime, good to be back here recording a regular episode, although that interlude last week was fun. And we'll see everyone next week.
See you later, everyone. Thanks a lot.